In today's video, we will witness Brian Cox, the star of Succession, totally take down Donald Trump and Elon Musk during his appearance at the Oxford Union in the UK. Although this recording is from earlier this year, it's a must-see moment that I felt compelled to share with you all. As per usual, let's watch the entire clip together, and I'll share my thoughts at the end.
One thing I think more on a serious note I wanted to touch on, Succession really depicts the reality of the media empire in the US. And I think there is a stark reality of what bits of Succession you see. We can compare what happens in real life as well. How do you compare and how do you see someone who has lived in the US, who has played such a powerful roles and who's been in the UK as well, how do you see the role of powerful individuals having such a control, especially now Trump coming into power?
Well, I think what has happened, and I think Biden made a great speech the other day about, the fear of oligarchy. And that is one of the biggest problems nowadays that we have. And interestingly, Succession deals with that very strongly, and particularly with particularly with the vision of who they are, and that becomes problematic at times. I found it. I just find that. I mean, the great thing about Succession is it deals with entitlement, and that is one of the curses of an oligarchy. Is they feel entitled, like that idiot Musk, who feels so entitled. And of course, the pink Pinocchio, he's worse than anybody. But you know who the pink Pinocchio is, don't you? You don't know who the pink Pinocchio is. Who's got pink hair and tells a lot of lies and is president of the United States tomorrow? That is the pink Pinocchio. Anyway, you've got that. You've got the way the world is heading now, and it's going more and more right wing, and it's a big worry because what happens is they're not interested. Trump has no interest in the people or what the people have. This is a man who is saying, oh, well, we should make Canada the 51st state, and we've got to take back the Panama Canal. And what is really, really important is that Mexico must be renamed. I think he's renaming Mexico. Have I got that wrong? Pardon? Or the Gulf of Mexico has to be renamed. Yeah, the Gulf of America. So that, and behind all that is an isolationist point of view, really. And that's the danger of it, the real danger. He might be an idiot, but he's a dangerous idiot. And that's what I think is the problem, really, that we have to deal with. Because I personally couldn't, I lived through 4 years of him before, and I shan't be going back to America too much in the next, or even though I got my 2 sons there, and my wife is there from time to time. But I can't deal with this man. I can't believe that they have voted for him in the way they have voted for him. And they can't see what he is. The guy is a liar, he's a fantasist of the first order, but it's also something to do about the state of the world. It very much reflects where we are as a world, And I think that's the biggest problem of all, is that we're in a very bad way. If that man does become president, that means a lot of Americans are in a very bad way, quite frankly, I think.
I see your point. However, the larger argument over there is that at the end of the day, he came with a mandate. Millions of people voted for him, despite knowing about his convictions, despite knowing about his history. That despite all of that, the American people voted for him. And then the argument is that what he does as a part of the mandate should be respected.
Well, let me tell you about that first. Americans are not very good with women. They really aren't. They're fucking awful with women. I personally long for a matriarchy. Because the patriarchy just doesn't fucking work and hasn't fucking worked for years. And that's what they represent. That's what all those guys like Musk and Trump represent. Fierce patriarchy. And of course it reflects. You look at the amount of people who didn't vote for Kamala. Now, also, there was a major fuck-up over that. And the major fuck-up was Joe Biden, who behaved stupidly. He knew that he was, and when he did that terrible. I mean, the poor man, of course, he must be on a lot of medication because he has times when he, no, I'm not funny about that. I'm not far off myself. Anyway, I just think he just handled it so badly and made it impossible for her to achieve anything. And also the fact that she was a woman and they don't like women. I mean, Hillary Clinton, we've seen incidences of that before, and that to me is a very disappointing and rather tragic situation, quite honestly.
No, I completely see the point there. So how would you see then the relationship between Hollywood?
All right, so for me personally, just listening to Brian Cox's remarks, I absolutely love what he said. I genuinely believe we need more influential and powerful figures speaking up. And Brian Cox certainly fits that description, having some sway both in Europe and in the US. However, Brian Cox isn't alone in his views or mindset. There are numerous influential figures who have expressed their opposition to Donald Trump. Let me take you through a few examples. Rosie O'Donnell, for one, is known for being a fierce critic of Trump for many years. She's even moved to Ireland, stating she'll return to the US only when equality is achieved for everyone. She has labeled Trump as both illegal and immoral. Then there's Jimmy Kimmel, the TV host and comedian, who frequently mocks Trump and refers to his presidency as a national disaster on his show. The iconic Madonna has criticized Trump's policies, especially those targeting LGBTQ+ rights, lamenting how the government is eroding the freedoms fought for. Taylor Swift also spoke out, accusing Trump of inciting violence, particularly following George Floyd's murder, and she continues to advocate for reproductive rights, especially after Trump's major role in the reversal of Roe v. Wade, which impacts women's rights significantly. Also, Chrissy Teigen has encouraged people to protest against Trump's authoritarian antics, accusing him of flouting the courts and ignoring checks and balances. There's a slew of voices stepping up against Trump's actions. Reflecting on Brian Cox's remarks in the video we just watched, he definitely speaks the truth. It's clear as day, Trump appears to be gearing up to run America not as a democracy, but as a dictator wanting to cozy up to autocratic leaders all the time. This Brian Cox segment was indeed thought-provoking. Share your thoughts on this in the comments section below. And while you're there, don't forget to like the video for the YouTube algorithm. I truly value your input. Catch you in the next one.